I thought maybe if I changed the title of the show that maybe different people would show up. Cause who knows? I don't know how this works anymore. I might talk about the same thing, but we'll see. I'll sit and meditate for a second, and we will participate in the waiting of consciousness to show up. I'll ready to sit here and meditate into the distance. Hmm. Hmm. I'm gonna go sit over there, and if anyone's here, when I come back, you guys can enjoy. If not, well, we'll see. It's good music though. Hopefully you guys cannot hear it too well. Just good enough. Just good enough. Here, see you in a second. Apparently, nothing. No one. Just me. Which is better. So, what direction should we go? Let's go into this mode of meditation. One type of meditation. Zero types of meditation. All meditation. How do you do it? How do you meditate? Should I look over there? Should I look over there? Should I look inside of myself and find all the things that are within me? There's everything outside of me, which is nothing. How to find a point of meditation? There's no point to meditation. There's 0 point to meditation. 0 points. So if you say 0 point, the most curious thing about the word 0 point energy is that if it's zero, you are unable to have a point, because a point would imply there is something besides zero. Zero is nothing. There's nothing there. You can't have a point. If there's a point, there's one. Then at that point, you say there's zero and a point. And that would cause space and object, which is exactly where everyone is. It doesn't get rid of uh, everything else. It just gives you a blank canvas and then a point of reference. And that point of reference is your choice. So there is the meditation. Space and object is all there is. Space and object is all there is. Time is apparently what it seems to be between space and creating object. That's what you think time is. Well, have a beautiful evening, day, night, morning, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Oh, look at that. There's a blossoming spirit. Not a soul, because the soul is everything. It's a singular entity of all of our minds. But there you are, and it's already vanished. The thinness of the... See, but I'm just looking at this here. So there could be 100 people in the room right now. I'm like, why the fuck isn't Zen listening? Live and Awake is here. Uh, I didn't end the video, and you were still here. And it's telling me that there's 0 people in the room, 0 thumbs up, and Live and Awake is still here. But yet, if I were to listen to the numbers on the screen, it would say no one's here. Not every time. We talk plenty of times Live and Awake, but yeah. So imagine that I've made a bunch of videos recently, and my subscriber count has gone down, which is perfectly fine. And then I'm gonna make videos, and it seems like no one shows up. But yet here I see a comment. How did you get through? How were you sifted through all of the? There's your comment right there, and I'm looking at 0. I'm looking at 0 right there and 0 right there. Live and Awake right now. Right now I'm talking to you, and if you listen to me, I'm looking at the number of people in the room and number of thumbs up. 0, 0. Nothing. And here you are. How does that occur? I'm not ending anything. I'm just talking. But yeah, is it not so? I could screenshot this shit right now. You can see this. I'll send it to you. You also see 0, but there you are. So is it no wonder that people have something to say that have any value? It seems like there is no value to it. I don't think there should be a value to anything, because a value is like numerical shit, but you know what I mean when I say value. I mean, we ain't gonna get all fucking super esoteric on that. But here we sit. What do you want to talk about, man? Because apparently it's just me and you. Me and you, and this is my last video that I just made that I had to well, I didn't cancel it. You guys can listen in a little while. But it was Elevators, the Outkast song, Me and You, Your Mama and Your Sister Too. You know, you heard that. One of my favorite songs. Staring at elevators, trying to catch that. No, staring at elevators. Staring at ceiling fans, trying to catch that feeling. I mean, they did elevators, and they did ceiling fans, you know. Trying to catch that feeling. Remember that shit? Yeah, Outkast is one of the greatest out there, man. Atlians, you know? ATL, Atlians, Atlantis. The ones you can't really see, but if you pay attention to the Atlians. Yeah. Well, if this comes through, cool. What is the in Hawaii? What is the... So you got nodal points, and you also have the longitude and latitude. What is the longitude and latitude of Hawaii? I mean, I know where I am as like a perfected nodal point of things, and I know there's like a giant, you know, blossoming something out of where New Orleans is. And I know that if you use that, and you use Hawaii, and you use... There's certain few places that have energetic constructs that if you flux them together, like if you made... You know, what is that in Hawaii? I've never looked it up. Yeah, so yeah, it lines up with the pyramids of Giza. It's funny. The last video I made, I said the pyramids of Giza, which was very funny. I don't know why I said it. Which is super funny, considering that a lot of people that have studied Atlantis in Atlanta, they say the Mississippi River is the Hold on 1 second. Let me see what this fucking dog is doing over here. That the Mississippi River is akin to the Nile River. The Nile River. So America was the original Egypt. So the Egyptians or the Gypsies were from the Americas. The Americas and the Costa Ricas, the coast of the rich and the rich soil or the rich soul of, and so there's a bunch of places you can find that have this. Um, More important than anything is the environment, and that is the soil or the soul. Oh, look at that! There's a couple more people apparently in the room listening to this diatribe into nonsense or something that might make sense to some people. And so if you were to map out in spirals from certain key locator nodal points how those spirals would work, it'd be very interesting to look at. Yeah, live and awake. I would assume those points would be definitely below. Well, we say below. That's the wrong word to say because in one sense, if everything's inverted, then the equator is perfected, and that if I said at a higher point, then you'd say okay, then obviously somewhere in Canada or Alaska is probably. Not to say they're wrong. I'm just saying there's a point of harmony between latitude and longitude and where heat uh, and the times of the year. Like Hawaii and there was a place that I saw the other day that I couldn't believe the temperatures were always around the same. Like it's always like 80 to 88 between the whole year. Like there's and then you have other places that's like a hot like you have other places that are like 80 in the summer and -10 in the winter, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I mean that's a good way to sharpen something, but uh, the the way humans or gods or whatever should live. When I say gods, I mean goddesses too. The warmth is where people should be, and so I think there's an interesting thing between that little shimmy of energy that works between uh, like like living at the coldest point like that doesn't make any sense because then you got to go kill an animal, stitch some clothes up, put it on, live in an igloo, and blah blah blah. Like yeah, that's fun to do. Like you could do that. Like I did that as a kid. You make the igloo and put the little blah blah blah. But and there's also like living in 120-degree heat all the time. That doesn't make any sense. But like if you get somewhere in between like the 60 degrees and the 90 degrees of heat, that's good. And if you get somewhere into 30 and 90 degrees of the latitude and longitude, there's something like Tesla said, three sixes and nines. So there's something there. I haven't put my thumb or my fingers on it yet, but um, there's people that live in certain locations that have an energy different. Like there's some people like you have a whole mass of people that don't know what the fuck. They're just enjoying the comfort of their homes with their air conditioning on, and they get in their car and they turn it to 72 degrees and they put the radio on to uh, 98.7 and they put that's all prescribed, pre-calibrated, uh, but where you live kind of gives you an essence. And I think there's something very interesting about that. Because obviously Hollywood was planted where it was for a reason because it's across from. I've done this talk so many times on where Hollywood is based upon the geometrical locations of the last tribe of people that were the media types. Then there's nothing wrong with the media or MEDES. MEDES. There you go, the Medes or the Medes, which is the media, which is sitting at 33 degrees and 33 degrees, and then you get into the spine and the Jesus shit and all that. A lot of reason people go to Hollywood and think they're like Jesus or some shit. And you got people that are like, so there's something there. I can't really fully, even if I could divulge it, I wouldn't. But I don't know specifically why. Like, uh, I think I think that there's something to do. Like they always take it from this level, but they never take it from this level. Like you could be in like a wavy land, or you could be in like a flat land. If you live too in a too cold of climate, there's no reason to go out on the open seas. And if you're in a very warm climate, like maybe the ocean's just clean and there's nothing to do, and it's like, oh, there's something in that. So I'm going off on a wild tangent here, a wild goose chase, as it were. Alive and awake. The pigs thing is a very. I'll do an. You know what? Alive and awake. I'll talk to you specifically about that and what spam is and where that came from. But I think you know. I mean, I don't know if you're from there, and the reason the aboriginals or the originals of that place, and then there's this whole wild dialogue between the people that are visiting there, and they hate the fucking idea that you don't put a fucking you don't put a mall and an airport on a tropical island. That there's a song about that if you want to go ahead and fill in the blanks there. But yeah, I mean, there's a way to get there, and there should be maybe an airport and whatever. But all the extra hotels and all the extra shit to bring in the people that just like suck in the sun and just litter bug and shit. Ah, 11, like, well, I mean, if you travel a lot and you know where you're at, like, yeah, then you travel. It's not like you're trying to like eat up space with the kind of mentality that, how to put it, um, some of the plot down land to make money is fucking up what the land is worth because they'll eat off the land if the land doesn't provide for them. And that's what's happened everywhere, unless you know how to re-prosper land. Unless you know how to put back into the energy of the land, like by using different elements and bronze and blah blah blah. You can always energize things and not just become you know like the I don't know how to put it. So tonight I want to. Oh man, this is fun. This is a funny story. I went out tonight and there was a Rolling Stones concert. Um, and it was very funny because me and a friend of mine, she's Indian, and I'm obviously not what I'm not a white boy. I'm walking through the city, going, okay, it's dead over here. What's going on? And then we walk into a restaurant and it's fucking packed. And we're like, all right, let's go to the next restaurant. We went to 3 restaurants and it was fucking packed. And every time we went somewhere, there was a bunch of fucking white people, and we laughed. And I was like, what the fuck? Where are all these white people coming from? And I was like, and I started back, and I was like, oh, everybody's here for. And don't get me wrong, the Rolling Stones, I love their music, and they're jamming. I dig them, and I have nothing against their fans and blah blah blah. I was like, oh my god, they got canceled from a couple days ago, because there was a supposed hurricane that didn't happen, and that's so it's today, Monday. They just come to the show. It's a Monday, and there was this. We're just like, where did all these fucking white people come from? And I think if you know what I'm saying, I'm not saying like skin color. I'm saying white people. I'm like, where the fuck do these people come from? Like, what are they doing here? And we're just trying to sit down and have a meal, and we couldn't because there was like this overabundance of, and that it seemed like the like what Hawaii or other places like yo, just come in and just get the fuck out. And so in this city, like people will come in and get the fuck out. But Hawaii, a bunch of white people just stayed there, and they didn't know that like how you like people come to the city for a lot of reasons, because like people clean up after people in the city. You go to Bourbon Street and there's piss, shit, and puke and beer cans everywhere, and then we'll clean up afterwards. We're gonna overcharge you. You're probably gonna get, you're probably gonna get, blah blah blah, and that's the attitude. And so I was out tonight with like just going, what the fuck? Where did all this shit come from? And it had that same tone of going like, okay, this band is not gonna come to your city because your city don't have room for it, and you don't want to shit where you sleep. But people want to come to New Orleans and shit. We're gonna clean up after everybody. Don't get us wrong, but it's like when you got a place like an island like Hawaii, like don't don't just plot down your fucking. I was watching a show the other day, and it was about white people redoing houses, and they're like, oh, here's this plot of land in this house. It's $975,000, and I was like, looking at this house, like it's like 800 square feet. It was a piece of garbage, but they paid for the land. It was a bunch of like old old money. The bitch was like fucking 70 years old, and she's like, well, this is a cozy little house. Like, why are you trying to steal? You're just trying to buy land that you don't own. You can't own land. You can't own that house. Like, if you just, you can be on that land, and the house can be yours, and people are gonna like fucking run into it. Like, they're not gonna come up in your house. But like, you don't get just like, hey, I've got all the money and I'm gonna have this. That's the attitude that some people got. I just don't get it, man. Mm. It's like the more and more I've lived in this climate, on this plane, on this planet, in this realm, in what is this called? This Earth-based thing. I just go, what the fuck are people doing? It's not supposed to. Why do the least among us have the most physical objects, and they actually try to own the land and try to own the people? Like, they enslaved the land, they enslaved the goats, they enslaved the cows, they enslaved the other humans. I think they like more betters because uh, they prospered some way, in a way that like, how did I get my trust fund? How come you got one? You're dumb. You're dumb as shit. You don't even know how to share. You don't even know how to. You don't know how to give. You don't know how to. You don't know how to accept. You just all you do is just like buy shit. Like, how the fuck do people do that? Yeah. Anyways, went off this little tangent here. So, thanks for listening. I don't even know where to go with this. I had a lot to say. I was hoping that other people besides Alive and Awake would be in here. We could go on some journey into enlightenment, but it was just me going, what the fuck, sometimes. So, yeah, fucking, hey, Be Free, what's up, man? Or woman, or whatever you are. I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. Maybe I'll make another video after this because I already made like 3 and nobody shows up for them because of either the algorithms or anything else. What's up, Zach Chrono? Hi, Zen. Kaizen. What's up, Zach? Good to see you, man. As always, it's a pleasure. It is. I'm gonna go listen to this music now because, well, I would love to turn it up for you guys because it's really good shit. This is Grammatic right here. Bester Grammatic. I suggest go find it. Go drink well, smoke well. What's up, Quasar? Yeah. I only tripped a few 100 million times in my life. I've only stubbed my toe once or twice. Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Mm. It's funny. It's funny. Imagine I'm imagining you imagining this. There we go. So was it the bird that imagined it was a fox imagining it was human. It was the human imagining the bird that became a fox that then, uh, you know, that's the funny one. I mean, I went a little longer with the story, but it was like, what was the original one? The original koan about like the butterfly imagining it was flying and being a human, or the human imagining it was a butterfly flying. That was the original one. It's just, mm, mm, mm. It's like whenever I see people, the oldest one that I remember was this idea. The oldest idea that I remember was, if you're gonna sit, sit. Don't shake your leg. If you're gonna shake your leg, you shake it good. You know, that kind of idea. And some people, whenever I see them just sitting there shaking their leg, I'm like, no, just sit. And they're like, what? Let me sit. And I'm like, if you want to shake your leg, let's go shake a leg. Like, oh, I can't shake my leg. Well, fuck, you're gonna do both at the same time? That's confusing. That's an old one right there, but mm. Well, drink, motherfucker, drink, motherfucker, drink, or smoke if you gotta smoke, or shit if you gotta shit. Eat when you gotta eat, sleep when you gotta sleep. It's about what you got. And I want to continue on with this, but I feel as though this would go on too long, and I don't really have anything right now to speak about any further. So um, I'm gonna I'm gonna listen to a few songs here, and I'll probably jump back on here in about maybe 10 minutes or maybe 30 minutes, and we'll see. And maybe some people show up, and that way I can get a little reverb off everybody, so we can keep this shit going. So stay well. I hope you enjoyed. This should be a fun one. Can't wait to go re-listen to it. See what kind of dumb shit I said. Well, I didn't say it. Y'all said it, not me. I don't even exist. I'm just a conduit. We'll talk soon, everybody. Cheers. Have a beautiful night. Inspire your life. Inspire other people. If you can't do that, at least get a bidet and keep your asshole clean. You know.